So here's the Photoshop part. So I now have this interesting surface that I can work with in a couple of different ways in Photoshop. One is I can use the different panels to create layer masks and or selections, and I can also use the existing model to overlay foreshadow. So I am unlocking that background, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the hue and saturation. So no green will be in there. Command U opens up the hue and saturation dialog box, and I'm taking out the saturation. And click OK. Again, that was Edit, Adjustments, Command U, Hue and Saturation, one of our favorite tools. If I do Command L for Levels, Image Adjustments Levels, I could tweak the contrast more to create a different feeling in the environment. Okay, very bright day, more dramatic midday, twilight. So these shadows can come in handy in my final execution of what we're building. I'm going to pick this moderate setting and click OK. I'm going to change the name of this layer. Cancel. I'm going to change the name of this layer to Light and Shadow. And begin to talk about different ways that I can apply or paint this. I'm going to open up another texture that I have hanging out on my desktop in the Images folder. Let's try this way. And Images desktop. Okay, so these are a lot of different surfaces that I have picked out for this reason. We've got a door, crazy door, we've got different things to put in our textures, and I'll go to this crazy looking wood thing here. I'll go with the planks because I think that's probably going to give me the best solution for what I want, and I'll open this file. But it opened in preview. Command O, try that again, go to desktop, go to images, I apologize. I have way too much on my computer right now, and I need to reorganize. Let's just do this. I'll just do wood. Command O and see what I get if I just type in wood. Okay, fine. So now I'll just pick something. Cherry Original. Very exciting. Opening it. And click OK. Perfect, actually. All right, so I have this little tile. Now in Photoshop, I could make this into a pattern tile. That is something else, just a general Photoshop thing you might need to know how to do. Making a tile in Photoshop requires the background is unlocked. I've unlocked it by double-clicking on it and pressing Enter. And then I'm going to select all. I can do that with a marquee by clicking and dragging, or you could go Select All. And then I want to make a tile, turn this into a tile object here. So I want to do Define Pattern. Those two steps that I showed you to unlock it and to select it are important. Define Pattern. So now I'm defining it as a pattern, and it's going to pick up the same name of the file that it had when I opened it. I could have done a levels adjust on this or changed the color and made this look not like cherry, whatever this is supposed to be, and it would look completely different. I'll call this cherry underscore wood, and then it's like, where the heck is it? So I've now created the pattern tile. I'll do another one in a minute, so you'll see it again. And I'll close this. Command W, D for don't save. Questionable whether or not I really want to fill something that's on an angle with a pattern tile, because it's still going to pattern it on a 90-degree angle. not on whatever obtuse angle that this is. See the performance art happening with my hand here, describing space. So what I do is I would first take this or start another file, okay? I'm just going to do it in this file. I'm just going to create another layer and zoom out. Create an area, perhaps the whole thing, within which to put my tile or fill it. So I'm going to do Command A to open that area for filling. And then I will do Edit, Fill, and choose Pattern, and then choose My Pattern. Boom. Now I have filled that with my beautiful pattern. Now I will copy it, Command C, and hide it. Click, click, click. Where do I want that? I want it on this side wall here. So I know it's way too big. I'm gonna paste it, Command V, and I'm gonna cut a chunk out. To cut a chunk out, I'm gonna guesstimate here. I'm gonna use the fill, the opacity control, and I'm gonna lower the opacity of the tile. The reason why I didn't use this one is I might want one intact later. I don't want to just willy-nilly chop that. And now I'm going to do a rectangle marquee in this general area and put this back to 100%. Select inverse and delete. Deselect. Look at this layer again as it compares to the area I want it to fit on. Now is the design decision. Do I think that this looks like really big grain? I do. I think that looks really big for grain. That's just like giant freaking grain. So I now need to scale this to fit in the correct space and size. I'm going to, questions, anyone? You all good? I thought I heard a peep. All right, so I'm going to select all again, Command A. I'm going to leave it semi-transparent. I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, and I will use Scale first. Scale. Feel like my scale handles are way far away. I'm going to scale this close, close, yeah, close. Command T, I'm going to scale it close. I don't want it to be too compressed, you know, it looks squished. I'm going to press Return and zoom up. And I feel like that's probably okay. Maybe I could have made it smaller by starting with a bigger pattern tile and squishing it more. Nevertheless, I'm now going to bring this back to 100%. Yeehaw. Deselect, Command D. Come and hide that layer 2 and go to my wonderful Magic Wand tool. Magic Wand tool. Click on this part of the design. Life is good. Show and select this layer and click on the layer mask button. Boom. Heh. Now, one could argue, let's zoom in on that. Zooming. Hey! Right, one could argue I could have distorted it more. Command Z, Option Command Z. Right, back 2 steps. Command Z, Option Command Z. Option Command Z, Option Command Z. Edit, Transform, Distort, and now this could go up. This could come down. This could go up. and this could come down. All right. Deselect, bring it back up to 100%. Oh, how did I, oh, reading is fundamental. Was looking in the wrong box. And back over here. W, magic wand tool. Click. Okay. Select, create, mask, Command D. So now, zooming in on it, it's low res, but you know, maybe that angle is better. Now, the other thing that's really helpful here is this layer that I created that's more or less still aligned with the other content. One could continue to duplicate this layer and have the burl or the wood line up if you don't distort anything. But that could also look kind of strange. You're going to have to decide what you think looks aesthetically correct for you. But again, I would just create another copy of this and turn it on and lower the opacity and zoom out, Command minus, bless you. Create an oversized area. This time I think I'll be more generous with the selection. And select inverse and delete. Deselect. Bring it back up to 100%. Hide this layer and select this one. Magic wand tool, which is W for wand. Select the area. Show the and select the new surface and make the mask. Now, clearly the issue is that I've lost the lighting. So at the end, I could take this and put it on the top and tell it to use multiply. So the multiply takes the grays and multiplies into those grays. Maybe you think it's too dark. Let's say, yeah, okay, that's too dark. Command L for levels adjust, opening up the levels of gray. So you could play with that. Is this helpful? Okay. Is this helpful for other people? Yeah, it's cool?
So, like, but if you were doing it with that Maxwell thing, it would do...
Now I could take, if I'd done it in Sketchup and put these surfaces on and take it into Maxwell, I can set settings in Maxwell that would simulate lighting. Different thing than doing it in Photoshop. So if you have something else that you might want to, and this is now getting very exciting moment in time, such as something you designed in this class of Photoshop and you want to put it in a context, the same kinds of ideas apply. So if you have your ad and you want to put it in a billboard, you know, right, or a stair wrap, you can use a layer inside of the scene that you put your content in as shadow content. Yes, right? Does it seem like that is a logical assumption? Do you understand what I'm saying? No.
Do that in Photoshop?
Yeah, I'm going to show you how to do it in Photoshop. Okay? So, if I have some ad content, do you have any questions? Okay. All right, so if I have to keep that because that was fun. And at the end, I just want to say one more thing. At the end, I could also go flatten image and then Command L for levels adjust. Right now it's flat, it's one piece. I could do that. I could have different versions at different times of day. And one other creative thing you could do is you could put another layer on top of it, and on this layer I'll just do a lighting effect And this will be my lighting effect. And I'll put this lighting effect on a gradient. Really want to keep this. Choose it. And then tell this to be overlay. Okay. And then again, you can create masks and pop stuff out and or decrease or increase the amount of absorption on an object in the overlay, which is to say, I could, and I'm going to do this really fast, make everything black. You can export your model a number of different times also with just different color on it, just black, right? So you have an alpha channel. All right, I'm just going to do this. And really all I want is this area so that I can go into this layer here and put on it, this is very exciting, an adjustment layer of, let's say, levels. And I now have an adjustment layer of levels. Right? So within that adjusted area, I could adjust the color just more or less in the mask. Do it. See the highlights changing? All right. That's exciting. All right, so that's some of my 3D chops. I should really have win the lottery so that all I would have to do is make tutorials all day and take questions. That's